What's up, fight fans? It is Friday morning at 7:38 a.m. I'm pretty freaking tired, but I'm gonna do a video because why not? All right, so we're gonna go over this weekend's fight card at the UFC in Abu Dhabi. We got the first thing I want to talk about is Holm versus Aldana, the main event. So Holm, we all, well, I mean, I know her. I don't know about y'all, but Holm is known for those quick feet. She's a great counter striker, accomplished boxer. Um, great kicks, great kickboxer. She's got the awesome kick boxing career. You know, when she came into the UFC, she was like undefeated boxer, and then she was like 10-0 when she came into the UFC. So she's very accomplished, and she's famous for that head kick knockout over Ronda Rousey. I mean, that which shook the world, and she did that in front of like the largest crowd. I think at the time, I think Izzy and Robert Whitaker just recently broke that record for crowd attendance. But she did that, and I remember where I was that night, that day when it happened. I was like, it was like a Saturday night, of course. I was just in my room eating some pizza, and I remember I had no inkling or idea that she was gonna beat Ronda Rousey because at the time Ronda Rousey seemed invincible, and it was just like this chick from Albuquerque just kicked this chick into outer space, and it just she was just out, man. I was just like, wow. So her her popularity just skyrocketed ever since then. Um, she's known for her kicks, strong kicks to the body. She's known for that. She's known for those big winding head kicks. She her footwork. I just watched. And this, by the way, I just watched a million fights for this, and that's why I got all these notes here. I just watched a million fights, so I just pretty much watched almost all of Holly Holm's fights and Aldana's fights. So what I noticed about Holm is she's got really quick feet. She stays moving a lot. She's really active when she's in the ring. She's like she kind of reminds me like Frankie Edgar. She's just like her feet just never stop moving. So she's got really good feet. She's known to be a counter striker. I see that. When somebody throws at her, she's got good head movement, and she'll come back with a one or a straight 1-2, something like that. Or she just when I notice she looks like she's a traditional southpaw, but I notice she can switch stances easily and throw a good right out of the orthodox position. And she's really good at blitzing you, like kind of like Robert Whitaker or other people who blitz a lot. She's got really good combinations when she's coming at you with forward pressure. She's just really good at that. Um, and she also has a really good highlight reel knockout of Betch Correia, and back in 2017. So that was a good one if you want to go check that one out. I think it's on UFC for free. The other thing I love about Home is she's oh well, not so much love. The other thing about Home is she's an up and down fighter as of late. Her last five, she's alternated wins and losses. Notable losses are to Amanda Nunes and Chris Cyborg, both of which were for the UFC. I think bantamweight and featherweight title. Not, I may be mistaken on that. Well, on the titles, but I know she definitely lost those fights, and I remember watching those. And she just didn't look like herself. She may have not been in it. I don't know. Either way, she's still a champion, future Hall of Famer. Like I said, her most notable win is over Ronda Rousey. Then let's go to her opponent, Aldana. She's a good boxer as well with powerful hands. She typically fights. She typically fights out of the orthodox position. When I from her fights I just watched, um, and from what I see, she likes to go to the head and body. Man, she does not discriminate. She'll pop you in the mouth and then she'll pop you in the body. Like she's just really good at switching it up, keeping her opponent guessing. And that's the main thing I noticed about when I watched a lot of UFC fights growing up compared to boxing. UFC fighters do not, they did not. I mean, now you got a lot of superior strikers, but at the time, UFC fighters did not keep their opponents guessing. They would just headhunt. And when these fighters headhunt, they can kind of see things coming. And UFC fighters' defenses now are so good that if you're like Izzy, you can weave these punches, you can parry them, you can just feint them, you can do whatever. You just they're in and out. Head movement has gotten so much better in the UFC. Striking in boxing has just gotten so much better in the UFC. So sorry to get off topic there. She has a highlight reel knockout of Caitlin Bier, who just fought recently, and I think she just beat Sarge last weekend. And in that fight, she basically had I think it was a looping left hook, man. It was just like devastating. Bier was asleep, dude. I was like, wow, I forgot. I mean, I remember watching that fight, but I forgot how devastating the knockout was. So she's got some power in her left hand and right hand. In that fight, I remember that knockout won her performance of the night. So let me get to my prediction. I'm gonna go with Holm only because of her experience, her boxing, her kickboxing, her striking is probably just a little bit better than Aldana. Aldana might have the power advantage. I mean, but I think I'm gonna go with Holm on this one, and I'm just gonna trust her striking and her footwork ability. Um, but Aldana could surprise us with that power, man. So Holm also employs a 1 inch range advantage over Aldana, and Aldana employs a 1 inch height advantage, and she comes in at 5'9" and Holm at 5'8". So let's get to the next fight on the prelims, which I was shocked was on the prelim because these both of these dudes are veterans of the game and they got big names. Carlos Condit versus Court McGee. Condit, man, he's a vet, dude. Like you're talking about a dude who's fought the who's who and won some of them. He's a former welterweight interim champion, but when he beat Nick Diaz for the belt, he's on a 5 fight skid though, man. It's like I don't know what's going on with him. He's probably just time for him to hang it up, but I mean he might just want to fight for the love of the money, I guess. But he's got losses to Michael Chiesa, Alex Oliveira, Neil Magny, GSP, Johnny Hendricks. So the guy's fought the who's who, man, and he's just a warrior, dude. Respect to him, man. I couldn't imagine fighting all those killers, man. But the thing I noticed about Carlos is when I was watching his fights just now, he's always been that guy that he's got those good knees up the middle. Um, he typically he has good left and right straights, jabs, hooks, uppercuts. He's just really just like he's got like a dirty fighting style, like he's just trying to take your head off. He's just a great stand-up fighter, man. He's got good kicks, good roundhouse kicks. He's just an overall great kickboxer, tough style fighter. He typically fights at an orthodox stance that I noticed from watching at least 3 or 4 fights just now. He's got great flying knees. He's got good spinning back fists, good spinning back elbows. I've seen it, and I was just watching all these fights, and he's got a lot of like highlight reel type attacks that can take you out. He doesn't always land them, but he's definitely looking to knock you out and take you off your feet. Um, he's good at cutting off the octagon. I noticed that with his opponents. He's good at circling to the weaker side, just like Izzy is, and everybody else who's a good offensive striker who cuts off the ring, cuts off angles, and wants to get to their opponent's weak side, which is usually most people or orthodox, so their left side usually going to be their weaker side. So he's just really good at cutting up the cage, cutting up their angles, and getting to their opponent's weak side. Um, he's got really good. He's usually taller than his opponents because he's pretty. I think he's like 6'1", and that's pretty tall for the welterweight division. So I noticed he does like Izzy. He does a lot of glove control, a lot of hand fighting to kind of gauge the distance with his fighters. I mean, that's not a new thing with Izzy, but that Izzy, I know Izzy does it and John Jones does it, but I've noticed in Carlos's fights, he does the exact same thing. He's gauging the distance, and then once he gauges that distance, he's usually throwing a roundhouse kick or some kind of jab or anything like that. Um, the most notable fight I remember him was him versus Johnny Hendricks, where I remember he outstruck Hendricks, but Hendricks is a good wrestler, and he took him down I think 3 or 4 times, and just employed that ground and pound, and he ended up losing that fight for the title, and Hendricks went on to I believe that was for the title. Don't get me mistaken, but I remember that fight was like it was for some high stakes, and definitely Hendricks won that fight, but I remember Condit definitely I felt like he outstruck him, but like I said, he's vulnerable to the takedowns like him when he fought Hendricks, and he also has a loss to GSP who basically ground and pounded him too. So he's fighting Court McGee, man. He's another UFC vet. He's got good hands. He likes to swarm his fighters. He likes to blitz. He has a lot of forward pressure. He's just a volume fighter as well. He has a notable win over Robert Whitaker. He likes to circle in and out on his opponents. I noticed when I was watching the fight, he does a lot of circling. He sticks and move, comes back, circles some more, sticks and move. He's just trying to get to his opponent's weak side. Same thing. He's trying to hit their blind side and knock them out, man. He just really you can tell he's just a forward pressure trying to take your head off, knockout fighter. It doesn't always work, but he's definitely got that style. He wants to get in there and knock you out. He's got a notable knockout loss to Santiago Ponzinibbio, and that's on YouTube as well for free that I just watched, and that was devastating. I was like, whoa! So that was a big knockout loss. So to the prediction, my prediction goes to Condit. I'm just gonna think he's gonna get back on track after being on a 5 fight winning streak. I think he's gonna out hustle him, outstrike him, just like kind of like he did Hendricks, but actually get the win this time. Um, I think it's gonna go to distance, probably get up a decision. And also, Condit sports a 3-inch reach advantage, 3-inch height advantage at 6'2", and their reach advantage is at their reach is actually the same at 75 and 75 and a half. So that's that on that. On to the next fight. I'm gonna go to my sleeper fight, which is the co-main event, which is really shouldn't be a sleeper, but it's definitely like two up and comers of heavyweights. You got Yorgan De Castro and Carlos Felipe. I couldn't find a lot of footage of Carlos, but I do have footage of Yorgan from my previous contender series on my UFC Fight Pass. So I definitely think Yorgan has the punching power to knock out Felipe. If Felipe takes it to the ground, I think he has the advantage because he's got that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background. But I don't know if y'all remember when Yorgan was on the contender series, he fought, I think it was Justin Tafa, or no, it was Sanford Meeks, and he knocked him out going backwards, dude. It was just like, whoa. And it was like a looping left hook and just kind of put him to sleep. And I was like, man, this dude might be a future problem in the heavyweight division. But after that, he went on to fight Hardy, and I think he lost via decision. The dude's in heavyweight. Usually, people get knocked out frequently, and this dude's never been stopped. He's like 9-1, I believe, and he's never been knocked out, never been TKO'd, never been finished, none of that. So he's durable for a heavyweight, man. So you got to watch out for him. And when these dudes are durable like that, I would definitely not pick against them. So, um, also, he's got fast hands for a big boy, man. He's a big dude. He's like 265 on a good day. He's got power behind both hands. He's got speed for a big dude. He's really good with his footwork. He's good at circling away from his opponent's power hand. I noticed that in the fight, he definitely was circling away from everybody's power hand in most of his fights. He's good at cutting off the octagon as well, and he's really good at fighting defensively. When he's fighting defensively, he's going backwards. So, like I said, he knocked out Sanford going backwards in a defensive stance. So, he's pretty much good everywhere, man. Like I said, never been finished, never been knocked out. So I'm gonna go with him on prediction, man. Talk a little bit about his opponent, Carlos Felipe. They're both at 6 foot, 6'1", about the same height. I believe Yorgan has 74 reach, and Felipe came in at 75. Both of them are they're like 8-1, and I think Yorgan is 9-1. So they have similar records, both in around the same levels on their career. So they're both up and comers. They could be the future of the heavyweight division. You never know. The winner could definitely move on and fight somebody in the mid range, probably maybe hopefully top 10 or lower 10. Um, I think Felipe will keep it on the feet, but if he goes to the ground, like I said, Felipe will definitely have the advantage on the ground because he's got the jiu-jitsu background. But I'm gonna go ahead and make my prediction. I'm gonna say second round knockout by Yorgan because he's got all that power in his right hand, and I just don't think Felipe is gonna last with him in there because I mean, for a big dude, man, I don't really think I've seen speed like that in a big dude since probably DC. Um, the next fight I want to talk about is the Dutch kickboxer Jermaine Durandamy versus Juliana Pena. Of course, we know Jermaine from her featherweight days when she was the champion and she won against Holm, I believe, at that 145 division, and she's just a great kickboxer. But she's coming off a decision loss to Nunez. You know, Nunez is obviously the greatest of all time, and she makes everybody look pedestrian and like they don't even belong. But other than that, Jermaine Durandamy is the real deal. She's got great kickboxing, like I said. She's really got good clinch control, powerful strikes from when I just watched a few of her fights just now. She's got really good accuracy, precision. Like she's just really sharp, kind of like Conor McGregor. Like she just throws those left and rights, man, and she's just got really really good accuracy. She's just really precise, man. And I noticed she typically fights out of the orthodox stance. And she's just got good octagon control, good clinch control. She's just got good awareness in there. She can just tell it when she's in there boxing with them that she's just ready for whatever. I don't think I've seen her get finished. She's probably been finished, but I look at her record all the way. But she went the distance with the greatest of all time. So she doesn't typically get knocked out. She's got really good defense, really good offense. She's just an overall really good fighter. So based on her experience and her punching power, her height and reach advantage over Pena, I'm gonna go with the prediction over her. I'm gonna go with the win over Pena. But Pena is a good vet too. Pena has she's come from the Tough series. I don't know if y'all remember watching that show, The Ultimate Fighter, where she won her I believe she won that series, and she's got really good strikes as well. She's got really good ground and pound. I remember when I was watching the show, she was taking all those girls just down. She would stand up with them, hit them, make them, and then she would level change and just take them to the ground. So she's just got really good overall game as well. But I think Jermaine's gonna have more experience, and she's just gonna have more punching power, more kickboxing expertise, and just I think she's just gonna overall overwhelm her with her experience and her striking ability. So I think that's it, you guys. I have to get to work. Like and subscribe. Share with a friend. I'm gonna try to make these as much as possible. It's been pretty good. I've been getting good feedback, so I appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.